Let's talk about these shoulders, because this is absolutely no doubt the thing that I work on the most with students on a day-to-day basis, and it's absolutely no doubt the thing that makes a massive difference to golfers that I get the chance to work with, and it's understanding shoulders. Now, the likelihood is that you are losing things like hip depth. This means that you're standing up and your shoulders are turning too flat in the backswing position. And a pretty typical amateur position that I see when I start working with golfers is something like this, okay? You can see the way my shoulders end up really flat. You can see the way that I end up looking like I stand up. And what this then triggers is golfers that need to start lifting their arms up in the backswing position. And this is a problem because sequencing a downswing from here is nigh on impossible. So what we are looking for is to produce more of a tilted motion. And there's a couple of things that you need to understand that's going to give you this ability to produce this tilt. The first one is understanding sequence, right? So as I get set up here, okay, and I keep my head nice and still, in that takeaway move, which is when the club is sort of roughly about sort of hip high, can you see the way that really, the way I get the club moving back is very much my hands and arms. So I'm lifting my arms up, I'm moving my arms to the side of my body, and I'm allowing a little bit of chest rotation, okay? Or I'm allowing some chest rotation. What you want to avoid is allowing your lower body to start to rotate in that first move, because all this does is this means everything starts moving together and that rotation gets too flat. If I move my upper body first, this triggers a separation, which can you see the way it gets my shoulders nice and tilted. So that's the first thing that you have to do. The second thing that we have to do is when we get into this backswing position, we need to trigger what is known as a left side bend. And that basically means that my spine needs to be aligned towards this left-hand side. And the way I'm going to do that is making sure that once I've taken that club back to that hip-high position, like so, what I now need to do is I need to make sure I keep my head still and I allow my lower body to turn in towards my right leg. So this is where I turn that pelvis in towards that leg. And what that does is, as you'll see from this side-on perspective, turning that pelvis into that leg produces this tilt. So it gives me great hip depth and it gives me a great shoulder angle. So it makes it much easier for me to release my arms down and get great ball striking. What happens with a lot of golfers is they misconcept. There's a bit of a wrong idea about this backswing rotation, and they tend to move this way, right? Where you don't turn enough into your leg, you're not turning into it, you start turning over it. And all this does is this means that you end up standing up, that gives you that flat shoulder rotation. So you need to work on sequence, and you also need to work on keeping that head still. Move that lower body in towards that trail leg. It'll make a massive difference. I'll see you soon. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and it will help your golf, but why don't you stop guessing on what you should be working on, and why don't you start knowing? And the best way to do this is to head over to the website and start participating in online lessons. The way that I have set my website up and the online lessons means that you get bespoke feedback from myself all the time, either through a swing analysis or through a video message. And I'll also direct you on what sort of videos you should be watching so that you can make sure that you get the best out of your game. Like I say, stop guessing, let's start working and developing your game. You know where I am if you need me. See you soon.